take it slow. I wanna be in the light before the fades from your eyes. Just another conflicted placement. I'm stuck in a place I hate it. What can I do? What can I do? What can I do when I'm stuck inside you? This cell of ice and fire, what blood red death, lost in desire, smell of life.
What's up? What's up? What's up? Live and direct on a Thursday this time, the right day. See if other people actually show up today. That'd be sweet. Rick Poulton, Ryan Inman. How's it going, brother?
Tired, as I always am.
Yeah?
But actually, I have an excuse today. See, and I always say there's a fine line between a reason and an excuse. Sometimes I give reasons, but today I got a fucking good excuse. Today was my inventory day at work.
Well, that would be a reason, not an excuse.
Well, no, you would excuse me being tired.
Oh, see, they do that bit on 850 and reason or excuse.
Oh,
excuse is like when you're just like making up some reason why some shit went wrong, but a reason's an actual thing. Okay. But whatever. Okay, so you do it backwards, but nevertheless,
we could do it the other way.
And they got. I wish I had their little prompts. It's funny. It's funny. It's a funny bit.
I haven't listened to AM radio in a long time.
They do like if they think it's bullshit, they'll say excuse, and then they'll play like the Obama. We ain't got time for excuses. And if it's a reason, they got a little thing for that. But nevertheless, so yeah, you had a reason because today was your inventory day, right?
Mm-hmm. Now, inventory day in and of itself isn't so bad. It's the prep that leads up to it that sucks. The only thing that's really bad about today is I had to get up for work at 4:30 in the morning, and that's not my bag.
Yeah, it definitely sucks. I did that yesterday. I got up at 4 and started driving for Lyft until 8, and then did my regular, not 9 to 5 because it's an 8 to 7. Did that for a while. That sucked, and I got home, and I was going to drive again after work, and it said, fuck it, just came home. And then I was going to watch a movie. Maybe I did watch a movie. I don't remember. I don't remember what I did when I got home because I was so tired.
I mean, after your garden variety 11-hour day, it all becomes a blur.
Oh, yeah, everything just blends together.
I tried to watch a movie last night, and that trazodone that I popped said, nah.
It'll do it to you.
Nah, so I'd watch some old reruns of 80s Unsolved Mysteries with Robert Stack instead, because those are always great.
Right. I watched Sopranos. I'm in the middle of that. And you know what? I'm liking that less and less every time.
See, and that's like your comfort show. Everybody has like that comfort show.
Yeah, I mean, I still watch it but I skip over a lot of stuff now because, I mean, it's nowhere near as good as it was then.
See, and I agree with you, but my reasoning, not an excuse for that is this: when it came out, it was great, but just so much other shit has come out since.
Yeah, and I think it's better. A lot of the stuff they just beat you over the head with, like it's stuff that like real gangsters wouldn't say. They wouldn't talk like, and different things. But I know the movie pretty much the show pretty much by heart, and so it's just something that put on that doesn't even matter, and like it's all good. Like,
don't get me started on that god awful Sopranos movie. That was bad.
I watched it, but I watched it for free. If I had to pay for it, I might have different thoughts about it.
Well, I didn't pay for it. It had HBO Max.
Yeah, that's how I seen it.
The Many Saints of Newark. That's what it was called, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Just because his kid looked like him, they threw him in it. Like
not good.
He wasn't a good actor. I think the show would have been a lot better if his mom lived longer. I think she was a lot of what the show was like. What definitely probably just the best character on the show. The most, the whole conflict with him, and a lot more could have been done with that. And then you watch like at the time, like after she passed, and they threw her in it for that one episode, and they use all the CGI weird stuff, and the technology just wasn't there. But at the time, it was like so ahead of its time, and they were like, "Oh, you got to watch tonight because we bring her back," and she after she, and everybody's making a big deal about how cool it was. And then you thought it was cool, but then you go and watch it again. It's like her head looks like it's floating on her body. It's so bad. Nobody's here.
See, and like that's my thing, is everything had like a finality to it, except for like the two things I like most, and one was the finale. Even though I know what happened. Other people try to come up with conspiracy.
Oh no, he's dead.
He's absolutely killed and faded to black because the whole thing is through his narrative, and he no longer has a narrative because he's dead.
Yep.
And then of course the Pine Barrens episode, which is the best.
Yeah.
It has an ambiguous ending. Did they really kill the Russian guy? Did he get away? We never really find out.
I think they saved that because I think they were going to come back to that someday. And there's theories that that's even who killed Tony. Not him, but, because of that, behind that.
Mm-hmm.
And because, those Russians, they had a lot of his overseas money and stuff.
Yeah.
Get rid of them, we get to keep all that money.
Yeah.
Probably even cash-ins from New York. Because even though New York allegedly called off the hit, maybe they didn't know. Maybe it was too late.
Yeah, and that's my thing with that too. I think that Pine Barrens episode is the very best episode of that show, and I know that's not an uncommon opinion. A lot of people say that. Mm-hmm. But it just goes to show that Paulie was just a shitbag character. He's just being a jerk for no reason.
Oh yeah, he had issues for sure. Hey, somebody's here. I don't know. Oh man.
Granted, I know 5% as much about that show as you do.
Yeah.
And I'll resign to that. Mm-hmm. I think I've only watched it all the way through twice.
Yeah, it's a running joke with me and the boy. Like if one of us try to get the other one to watch something, it's like, I don't know, man. I'm in the middle of Sopranos after I'm done with that. And he's only seen it, besides of watching it like in his peripheral with me, he's only seen it himself once. Okay. But he still uses that joke just because it's funny.
Yeah.
He's like, oh yeah, you should see it. It's like, oh yeah, I got Sopranos. I'm on like season 4. But it's probably the 5th best HBO series.
It's funny that you say that because I think it is a hot take to not put that in the 5 best HBO series, and I don't think it makes my 5. I don't.
Wire is definitely better.
That's number 1 for me.
I think for me it's the other Soprano series.
Boardwalk Empire?
Boardwalk.
I love that show. That's definitely better than the Sopranos.
Yeah, Boardwalk is easily number 1 for me.
There we go. Steve Buscemi involved in both, and he, fun fact, directed the episode Pine Barrens.
Did he?
Yes, he did.
Oh, wow. I didn't know that.
Yes, he did.
That's cool. Mm-hmm. Oh, we got a couple people here now, but nobody's saying anything. Say something so we know you're here.
I'll take Curb Your Enthusiasm.
Back into ourselves now about Sopranos. We want to get into the horror thing.
I'll take Curb Your Enthusiasm over it as well, even though it's a comedy and it's a totally different thing. Just my personal preference.
An HBO show?
Yes.
I haven't seen it.
I love it.
I've seen bits and pieces and clips. Rosa, how you doing, Rosa?
It's Seinfeld with swear words.
Right. And you know what's funny is Dave Brown's here. What's up, brother? Yeah. So with what were you just talking about, Curb?
Yeah.
Donald watches that and he loves it and he hates Seinfeld.
Really?
Yeah. So it's kind of throws me off.
I love both.
I never was a Seinfeld guy when it was out. Mm-hmm. But I got a feeling if I went back and watched it now, I'd appreciate it a lot more and would be more into it.
I think you would.
And I know I'd like Curb. I just never got to it.
100% you would like.
Because I've seen, all the clips I see of Larry David. The dude's nuts. Mm-hmm. So I can't put that above Sopranos because I haven't seen it.
But I would.
100% The Wire, 1,000% Boardwalk. Mm-hmm. I haven't seen Game of Thrones.
That's above it, too.
Most people will say that. I watched the first episode. It took forever before anything happened. I never went back to it, but I will.
Slow burn. It's a slow burn. The whole first season is kind of a slow burn. I'll give you that. Whoa. But then it starts rocking, man. And I think the payoff, the very last scene of the very last episode of the very first season, that payoff was worth it. I won't say what it is because you will eventually watch it.
Right. Dave Brown says The Boys is awesome, but we were talking about just HBO shows. Yes. But The Boys is awesome, and I'd probably take that over Sopranos. But did you see my unboxing video I put up the other day? Did you get a chance to check that out?
I'm prepping for inventory, man.
Yeah, since you didn't, I'm gonna show you. Look, I got this guy.
Whoa, that's cool.
Yeah, let me just flip to some random pictures in this thing. This is Bloody Essentials a while ago was talking about how cool the 78 novel was for Halloween. And even if you get one that's beat the shit on eBay, it's a few $100s. They're almost impossible to get. So this guy redid the novel, the whole novel the way it was, with all these cool illustrations. It's just a random one here. Look at that.
That's fucking sweet.
Yeah, just insane stuff. So I'm gonna actually read that. They also said on their show, they said if you go into a guy's room and he doesn't have any books, leave. Do not sleep with him. So now I'm up to 3 books. I got this one and I got the 2 from RG Henning. So I might be okay if a female was ever stop.
I got probably 30 that are visible right now.
Yeah, I was thinking I'm just gonna decorate with some books and pretend.
I'm not even counting like books about horror. I'm talking about like novels.
Yeah, actual books. Come on, man. If you're gonna get me to read, I mean, I'm gonna read something about a movie I really like, and that's about as far as it's gonna go.
Well, I told you
through the internet.
Well, I told you the crazy thing though on my vacation a few months ago. My flight home, I actually read an actual hardcover book on the plane, and I was literally the only person on the plane reading an actual book, physical book.
Everybody was reading the digital book.
Yeah. Or watching shit on their tablets.
I can't do that. Like, 'cause I'm a big comic book guy, and when they DC, I had the DC network, which HBO ended up buying and putting all their shit on there. But the comics you can't get anymore, like they're on another thing. But I figured I'll go back and I'll read all these comic books I didn't get to read. I just can't do it on that thing. Yeah. I need the paper. I don't know.
I was probably dollars to donuts too, man. I was probably the only person drinking a black coffee on that flight too. Man, I'm a fucking relic.
So tonight, what we're here for is to complete our Friday the 13th series. We got the Jason X. We're do a little quick review of the Jason X since we're 14 minutes in. We got a couple people here. Not as many as usual, but more than we had on Tuesday. Guys, since you guys didn't come up on Tuesday, make sure you go to YouTube and check out that video. I think it was one of the better interviews we ever did with Francesco DePento, who I kept forgetting he was in Terrifier 2. If I marketed it that way, it might have been a little bit better. But yeah, he got killed in the Clown Cafe in Terrifier 2, and he was also the director of Pretty Face, which was a part of the anthology movie All Hallows Eve Trickster. And I have one of those masks on the way, by the way. So I'm going to take it to my barber with a picture of his mask. And I'm like, you're not cutting my hair today. Cut this mask's hair. You make it look like this. I don't want to try to do it myself. And then I'm going to, the makeup I can wash off if I get it wrong. So I'm going to try that a few times. And
I know somebody that might be able to apply that makeup and get it perfect for you.
Yeah? Good.
Yeah,
we'll work on that because I definitely want to have one of those in the studio. I think he think it was cool too.
And what you can do with that too, once that makeup's applied, I can actually lacquer it so it won't.
I was thinking, yeah, so it'll stay.
I'll do, instead of like a spray lacquer, I'll do like a brush lacquer, real gentle over it.
Right on. Okay, so Jason X, the 10th installment of the Friday the 13th series. Hmm? It was directed by James Isaac. Okay. That was like I wrote numbers next to his name. Why did I write these numbers? The year he was born and the year he passed. He died at 52 years old, only 60 to 2012.
Yeah.
He did work on Gremlins, Star Wars, Jedi, Return of the Jedi, and 2 of the House movies and some other stuff because it said he worked in the documentary I watched today. that he worked with Cronenberg, but I don't know what he did with them. But I know he worked with them.
Director of House 3.
Director of House 3, yes, and he did a lot of the effects on too.
That was his first feature. This was his second one.
Right.
And they were 12 years apart, if I'm not mistaken. 89.
That's right. I didn't write
2000.
dates.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't write dates. So film had 11.
He only directed 2 pictures after this too.
Yeah. Not a long career for that guy, no.
No.
The only thing of note that he directed was House 3, other than this.
Other than this, yes.
$11 million budget with 17 mil gross income, which for a Friday film it was actually the worst from but profit margin.
$11 million budget is a lot for a movie like this too.
Well, and it wasn't enough for what they really wanted to do. They had to cut some stuff.
Well, you can say that about the previous 2 entries too.
Yeah. So,
especially part 8.
This actually, though, it was one of the more successful Friday films because it killed it in DVD sales and rentals.
It did.
Yeah, it murdered it. So that's where they made all their money. But it was also the first Friday film to use CGI.
It was, and we'll get to that.
We'll get to that, but I think they did a real good job of blending the two. We'll talk about it. We'll talk about it.
It's definitely up for debate.
So we're going to go through the cast like we always do with these reviews.
Sure.
And, of course, you got Kane Hodder. We're not going to even... Kane. He's fucking Kane.
I've heard of him.
You heard of the guy?
I'm aware of his...
aware of his body of work?
Yeah.
I mean, the guy's killed more people on film than anybody.
Yeah.
So Kane... Did you figure out since our Final Girl episode how to pronounce Rowan's name?
I'm still going with Lexa Doig.
Doig. Fun fact about her. I am 99% sure, 99.9% sure that she is the only Final Girl of color. She's Filipina, in case you didn't
know. And also Canadian.
Also Canadian. Well, Canadian's not a, that's just a... She's Irish and Scottish on the white people side of her family.
On the white people side.
Yeah.
Yeah, because who else would be other than Dana Kimmel? Other than Dana Kimmel, they're all blondes. So probably pretty white.
Yeah, so no doubt. It's funny when I was speaking of Canada, I was in Canada for WrestleMania 18, and it was on St. Paddy's Day. And Jericho was wearing green. And I say to my brother, Joey, I say, oh, I wonder if he's wearing green because he's Irish. He goes, dude, he's Canadian. What the fuck's wrong with you? I'm like, dude, no one's from Canada, just like no one's from the U.S., right?
Well, Native American.
And Native Canadian, which is, same thing. But
yeah, Inuits, right? Inuit.
What's up?
Native.
Oh, Canadian. Yeah, the Native Canadians. Yeah. What was that? So she dropped out of school at grade 13.
Grade 13?
Grade 13. Those Canadians, those crazy Canadians.
And they always say grade in front of the number, whereas here it'd be 12th grade, 11th grade. No, they say grade 5, grade 9 there. Yeah.
Like we'll say 13 years and they'll say age 13 too.
Yeah.
13 years old at age 13. Or they'll go 13 years of age.
Yeah.
But not 13 years old.
Yeah, their grammar is probably better than ours all around.
It's probably right. I like to fuck around and say oh, he's from England. He can't even speak the language.
Yeah.
But really, they're doing it right. We're doing it wrong.
And like you said, she's the first Final Girl and only so far of color with the letter U in the word color.
Oh, yeah. The Canadian thing. Oh, I hate that. Oh, that drives me nuts. Favorite and color with the U in it. I don't like either one of them. So she was in 6 episodes of Chucky.
Oh, really? I still haven't watched it.
I didn't know that. I watched it. She was in the beginning, first season, she was the main character, Jake, his aunt, that he had sent to live with after his dad got whacked. Bree Wheeler, that's who she played. She was Talia al Ghul in the Arrowverse. If you're a Batman fan, you know who Talia al Ghul is.
I know the character, yeah.
Yeah. Ra's al Ghul's daughter,
Yeah.
or Ra's al Ghul, depending on who you talk to.
Raz,
I like
how I've always said
Ra's
it.
myself,
Yeah.
but some people say Ra's. She was in the V remake. I never seen the remake, but I was a big fan of the 80s show.
So a loose connection to in your opinion, not the final girl of part 6. Obviously, Jennifer Cook, big star of the.
Oh, I didn't know that. She was in the V remake?
The original.
The original. Okay, not the remake.
Big
I
star.
was going to say, because I thought she was done by then.
Oh, God. She could buy
Done
that.
after Friday, yeah.
She would just buy the show to not be on.
In a small part, you had David Cronenberg.
Sure. As Dr. Wimmer.
Dr. Wimmer. He was he had a pretty cool opening scene that Jason comes back, kills everybody. It was pretty cool.
And didn't he say like he only agreed to do this if he actually got to die or something like that?
That was part of it. And he also rewrote all of his lines.
Yeah.
And the director was like, or not, it was the writer, not the director, because the director had passed by the time that this documentary I was watching came out. And he was like, if David Cronenberg wants to rewrite all of his lines, you let him.
Of course.
He's going to do it better than you. So, he had that. Jonathan Potts.
Creepy Professor Lowe.
Professor Lowe. And I got for him, he was Link and Captain in the Game Master.
Didn't know that.
Show. And there was also a Zelda show that lasted very briefly. He was Link on that as well.
And he is the secondary antagonist.
And he's the secondary antagonist. Totally Killer. He was in a new movie that came out in 2023, I think. I want to say it's an Amazon movie.
I'm familiar with it.
Have you seen it?
No, but I'm familiar with it.
Pretty cool. It's pretty cool. It's a throwback slasher deal, like with all kinds of woke, as they say, wokeness in it that bothers some people. But it goes through. It's a cool concept because they travel back and forth through time, and the girl goes back to the future. It's like Back to the Future slasher style. Okay. And when she goes back to like her mom's time, and she's like talking about all this political correctness that's really fucking everybody up. It's funny. Good movie. I liked it. Lisa Ryder.
Mm-hmm.
AM14.
Yeah.
I don't got nothing else for her, but
that's a polarizing character.
Is it?
Yes.
Some people don't like her.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I love her. I think she's I wrote in here that we need a NECA figure of her. I
like her. There's one thing I really don't, but we'll get to that later.
We'll get to that. Okay. Christy Angus, Adrian, which was named after Adrian King.
Yes, and that's a very important person to bring up for one reason, and we'll get to that later. Yeah, even though she's only in the movie for a minute.
Charles Sherrod says, dude, clean background you got there. Yeah, dude, that really made a giant difference. He gave me the background because he's seen the preview poster we put up, and he's like, that's kind of fuzzy. Use this instead. And as soon as I switched it, I was like, wow, that's a huge difference.
It really ties the room together.
He will be going live at, 8 o'clock? It's right after us. Right after us at 8 o'clock on the dive on Rumble. You could be one of the 40,000 that he has watching that show. Tonight he's going to be doing Tales from the Crypt. I believe he picked 4 episodes he's going to go with. Last week he did Creep Show was really good. And it's just awesome watching with him because you can. It's just like having your friend in the room with you, bullshitting about the movie, and the movie's in the big screen, and you could totally watch. It's really cool. It's a really good time. Make sure to check that out if you haven't already. And then I got Brodsky. Brodsky was Peter Mensa.
Menashe?
Mm-hmm. My dyslexia. I probably wrote it backwards. Okay. It happens. And he was the only thing I know him from was 300. Do you ever see
the messenger that gets thrown into the pit.
This is Sparta. Cool scene in the movie. Quite probably. That and when the Xerxes first shows up and is walking out of the thing. But that's all I wrote down for the cast.
Oh wow. I want to mention a few more people because this is a mega massive cast.
Yeah, there's a lot of people in this thing.
We got Dov Treffenbach as Azrael, the real creepy, weird, spindly kid. Melissa Aid is Janessa. I don't know how you leave her out.
I mean, I knew she was going to come up, so I didn't see anything that she was in otherwise to talk about. That was the thing. Like a lot of these people didn't do anything else.
She was.
I like Janessa. Janessa's cute as hell.
She was in the TV show Andromeda. That's
and a couple of these people were.
Yeah, I think KM14 was.
And
Lisa
the final
Ryder.
girl. And the final girl was an android on that show.
Okay.
And KM was not. And they did.
Oh, yeah.
This.
And we have Boyd Banks as Fat Lou, who had a couple nice little one-liners.
Was Fat Lou? He was the pilot guy, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
The chubby guy.
That guy, right?
Yeah. Barna Moritz as Kicker, who had a couple speaking parts and gets killed. Dylan Bjork is Briggs, even though it's a female character named Dylan. Todd Farmer as Dallas, who also was the writer of this movie.
Was the writer of the movie. He always, from what I understand, he always puts himself in movies and gets himself killed in the movie. Brian Emmenizer, South Jersey Jason, and Dave Brown, it came up on their show. What is their show called? Third Channel for Horror. I forget what movie they were even talking about, but they were saying the same thing, that he did that in that movie.
Then we have Philip Williams as Crutch. That's the older co-piloting guy that gets. Melody Johnson as Kinsa, that stupid bitch.
She was the one that was like making out with her boyfriend next to Jason's corpse.
Kinsa? She's the one that fucked the hatch up towards the end when they're like, Kinsa, don't.
That's her. And she watched her boyfriend get the machete ran.
And she's the one that caused that whole space station to get fucking destroyed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
19,797.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah.
We
have Derwin Jordan as Waylander.
Mm-hmm.
Yanni Gelman as Stoney. And the last name I'm going to bring up is Robert Silverman as Dieter, who Robert Silverman was in every other David Cronenberg movie ever made.
Okay, I know who he is. Okay, yeah.
That guy.
That guy.
So all these people had speaking parts and got killed, and there's a couple more people that got killed that didn't talk, and I didn't mention them, but, I just wanted to get all the relevant
names. You left out some people that talked. The hologram chicks.
Yeah, but they don't really die because they're not real.
They're not real. They're not real. But no, but the writer was asked about the 20,000 people on the space station. Is it true 20,000 people died in that? He goes, no, it's not true. It's 19,797. After the show, let's bring this up here. I have found a new respect for the movie, though I could care less if Sean Cunningham were stoned and pissed on. Well, we don't quite feel that way about him. We're definitely Team Victor Miller.
Yes. I need to stay in his good graces, though, until I get my poster signed. I need both of them to sign it, though.
Right. Oh, yeah. No doubt.
So after the first one signs, I'm going to have to, cover it up some way so the other one will.
No, you got to let Victor Miller write something about him and, draw a line to him or something.
Oh, that would be good.
That'd be awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, and Victor's doing a lot more conventions, and Sean's a whore. So
let's go a different route with this, man.
Oh yeah, I am the least prepared I've ever been for one of these. So it's
me too, but I got ideas. I have my fives, but we'll get to that. Yeah. Do that at the end like normal. When did you first see this one?
I think I seen it in the theater.
Me too.
I'm almost positive. I know I seen it in the theater. I seen it in the theater.
Yeah, I saw it in the theater, and I was 21, which means you were 22 when this came out. And man, especially that day and age, those times, it was just before 9/11. It was a nice raucous crowd, man, for this thing in the movies. It was packed. I went opening night.
Yeah, opening night back in the day, it would pretty much guaranteed to sell out.
Oh yeah, because there were.
I mean, now you go to the movies and there's 40 people in there.
Even if you could download this movie on your computer back then, everybody had dial-up. It would have took you 2 fucking days.
Well, speaking of that, this movie, the documentary I was watching earlier, actually did leak. It was the most torrented movie ever, and it was out before it was out in the theater. And that might have did something to the sale or to the box office.
Yeah.
And about the 56K, me and my brother Joey downloaded more movies than anybody in history on a 56K. We had it running 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, and we got all kinds of shit.
I got so much music. I probably owe all the artists via Napster like $20 million.
Well, to be honest, you're probably the reason or one of the reasons that I don't do any of that stuff anymore. It's like I got a lot of friends in the music business, and I see what goes into making this art and how, like it's just not right. So I won't steal a song, I won't steal a movie, I just won't do it.
I changed my stance on that as far as music goes, and we're way off topic, but I'll just tell you this. Artists don't make money on music anyway. We don't.
Yeah.
I would rather have another set of ears or 2 or 3 hear my music than not and make a couple extra dollars.
Well, what I do with that is I'll go to a show and I always buy CDs.
Yep. Buy a shirt.
I give the CDs to people because I already know the music. I bought it digitally.
Yeah, we don't really make money from CDs, man. Come buy a shirt.
Definitely.
Come pay for a ticket, and that's how you really support smaller bands, is you go to their shows and buy merchandise from them directly, because that's usually their cut of what the big label makes.
Right.
So that's where you get that. Now, if it's a big band that is going to sell hundreds of thousands of albums anyway, fucking steal that shit. Who cares?
I don't agree.
I did. If it's fucking Radiohead,
my opinion, art is art, man, and I just can't do it.
If it's Radiohead and they're $50 million, fucking steal their shit. I don't care.
There's some bands that actually say that.
Yeah.
We made enough money. Okay.
Yeah, that's true. Well, Radiohead.
A record called "Steal This Record."
Well, that was System of a Down.
There you
go. I brought up Radiohead because they had that idea and I loved it. It was like, I don't know, maybe 20 years ago or so, where they released their album independently off the label. They, their deal was up. They put their own record out and they put it on a website, and they're like, pay for it what you want.
Oh, I remember that.
Like, you had to put a credit card in and at least pay a penny for it.
Right.
You couldn't just download it for free.
And you know what? Another company took that idea, and it's like a streaming service that some of my people were using, and it was like that too. You just paid what you wanted, and a lot of them did a lot better than they did, going through a label.
Now, and Radiohead too, the big band like that, they said that the average person paid around like $5.
And they got all that $5 instead of 10 cents of it.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
So I thought that was the most brilliant idea of all time. It took guts to do that, but it paid off.
Right on.
So we're way off topic. Let's get back.
All right, back to where we were. Where were we? I don't even remember.
Talk about when we first saw the movie. Theater. Yeah. How it was pirated.
Yeah. That's what took us on this tangent.
So I saw it in the theater opening night, man. It was a raucous crowd. Like, every time Jason appeared on the screen, everybody popped. Every time there was a kill, everybody popped. It was a fun time, man. We all knew what we were there for.
Right.
And I've said this before, when this movie gets brought up, it's no surprise. Do I think this movie's amazing? No. Do I love it? No, but I like it. And the reason I do is because it doesn't pretend to be anything that it's not.
Right.
It's just
a popcorn movie.
Yep. It's 90 minutes of, we're going to have fun and we're going to kill people, and we're going to have, like part 6, some dark humor and some nice one-liners, which I'm glad they brought back, because this is really the only movie like part 6 in that regard, with that dark humor and the one-liners. Right.
Yeah. When I was watching the thing today, like the writer of it, and there might have been some footage of the director, and saying like this movie is not scary, and it's not. And I don't think most Friday the 13th are. The first 2 maybe had that tone like that, but this movie is like more action. Like, one of the actresses described it that way. He said it's more of an action movie, and it's a sci-fi movie, and it's fun. It's good gore. It's like I said before, it's the first movie to use CGI, and I think they did a pretty decent job of mixing the CGI with the practical effects myself.
See, I can get along with the sci-fi thing, and not just because it's in space or in the future or whatever. Just a lot of the shit going on too. Him being, upgraded, regeneration, talking about, and I really like this plot point. Why didn't they just kill him? Why did they keep him alive? Because they're studying him because he can regenerate tissue like Wolverine, and they want to figure this out so they can heal people and cure cancer and things like that.
Absolutely.
So it's just like, yeah, this guy's a maniac, he's a killer, but he might be the key to the cure for every disease the human race will ever have, or if somebody,
do we really want that though?
Well, if somebody, combat veteran that lost a limb, man, maybe they can grow one back for him. You never know.
Mm-hmm.
You can do a lot of good with something like that.
Yeah. But we don't want everyone to be able to live forever.
Well, we'd run out of room real quick. We're already pretty full.
Yeah, no doubt.
So,
but,
and it can't be a show without
the Zahn running.
Yeah. All right, get out. Go on. He popped himself into the show on Tuesday. I don't know if you noticed, he kept jumping up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, where were we with the thing? I lost my train of thought.
No, that's the reason they kept him alive.
Oh yeah, the reason they kept him alive.
Yeah.
I
liked it.
They couldn't kill him because he just can't die. But they could have contained him, which is what Rowan wanted to do. I mean, couldn't you have done that and still did your little experiments?
No, I just think that for once in one of these movies, they actually did give a very good explanation to why they kept him alive.
Mm-hmm.
And didn't even attempt to kill him. They're studying him
because
he was valuable.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
Yeah. So, and that's cool because we never really had that angle in any of these movies with him before. He was just out killing or whatever, but it was a deeper thought into the backstory, I guess.
Yeah, and it was kind of cool to give it a little explanation of why he, the fact that he just can't die. That's why he never died before. That's why he keeps coming back. So
and it's not even just him. That mask regenerated too. Really dug the look of him pre-Uber in this. I like that sloped nose mask. I dig it. I
like the mask. I like his clothes.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't like that they didn't even put a hood on him, and it was just Kane's short, stubbly hair and Kane's face through the eyes of the mask.
See, I like that though because it explains too. Now he's had time,
right,
to regenerate fully into.
And you and I had talked about that recently, and that made me like it a little bit more.
Yeah. I mean, he's been stagnant before, but he's been underwater or locked up in some weirdness. But no, he's just in the open regenerating.
And this is in 2010 this takes place. So we're looking at maybe 20 years since the last time he was around.
Roughly, yeah. Something like that. So, but yeah, I saw this in the theater. Crowd reaction was pretty good,
Yeah, everybody I know really had fun with it for sure.
Yeah, no, I didn't see anybody walking out of that going, no, man, that was bullshit, No.
Oh, everybody loved the Uber Jason look when that happened. Like everybody was all about it.
See, now it's different. I saw Freddy versus Jason in the theater as well, and I mean it was fresh in everybody's mind. But at the end of that, people were kind of like, eh. And then also the remake, also saw that in the theater. People were like, I didn't get that with this.
Yeah, I like this much better than both of those films.
Spoiler alert. So do I.
Some people, this movie, sometimes it comes up and people will say it's the worst one. No, it's not. There's not a whole lot wrong with it. There's not a whole lot where you're like, this doesn't make sense, and why are they doing this? And there's none of that.
See, now,
it's a cohesive thought.
When we have our big episode, and I think it will be our biggest one we've done yet, when we actually rank these,
yeah,
and we bring in big time Brian Emenizer.
Big time Brian Emenizer.
I already know he's going to have this at 12.
Oh yeah.
I know it for a fact, and we're going to have a nice little debate right off the bat on that show. Spoiler alert.
Is that what that's called?
Yeah. Now the big question is, and we'll grade it at the end, like we always do. We're not going to do that now. And even the grades doesn't really quite give it away just yet. The big question will be is who between you or I will have this higher. I think that's the bigger mystery.
Right on.
So
the last couple of times we've done this, we gave the cast a grade, and we didn't do that yet. So what would you backtrack and what would you give the cast?
Man, there's a few people in this cast I really like. There's a few people in this cast I really do not. And then there's a bunch of filler.
Yeah.
C-.
I'd go a C just because I didn't find anything wrong with anything anybody did, but I didn't find anything, really that stood out except for one guy. And I think it was just his character more than his acting.
Yeah.
And that would be, of course, the professor. So where would you rank him on the secondary protagonists scale? Because we always talk about Melissa, we always talk about Dr. Cruz, we always talk about Part 8, Peter Rickman. Is that his name?
Charles McCullough.
Peter
Mark Richmond.
Yeah. So we always talk about those guys, but this guy never comes up. And at this viewing of this film that I just finished right before we went on, I think he needs to come up more. I think he might be the biggest piece of shit in the whole franchise.
Well, he's a better antagonist than Tamara Mason. Don't even get me started. Okay. Don't do it. Melissa's better.
Melissa's better. Best. Dr. Cruz is second best.
Yeah, and they're both in the same movie, which is fucking phenomenal. Not the movie, but those antagonists, because everybody's going to root for Jason, so we need somebody to hate, and that's what's perfect. I don't know, man. I think he's neck and neck with McCullough, I guess. He's pretty close.
I hate him way more because, again, after we reviewed 8, I found a new respect for him. I don't think he was that bad of a guy because, again, he wasn't creeping on the girl. The girl, if he was a total piece of shit, he would have given in to her demand, her advances, and he didn't. He was looking out for his niece. He just
Professor Lowe is definitely a bigger piece of shit. Peter Mark Richmond was a better actor.
Oh God, yes, he's one of the best actors in this whole series. Yeah, the whole franchise.
Yeah, and it's wild because he was in one of the worst movies.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah, so we already know where you're going to have that one. Well, it's pretty cool though. Between Emenizer, you and me, we all have a different worst movie.
Different bottom one.
Yeah,
we probably all have a different top one too.
Yeah.
Just from what I know about him and you,
I have a pretty good idea what his one will be. I'm not 100% sure.
It might be with mine. He might be there with mine.
He'll be closer. I'm going to be a different direction than both of you. So anyway, getting off.
That's then. This is now.
Yeah. We'll have to set a date for that soon. So
what did you think about the way they integrated the CGI with the special the practical effects?
In some scenes you need CGI because it's futuristic and all, like when he's getting upgraded and all that. But as far as like
nanobots and whatnot,
as far as the kills and stuff with some of the CGI mixed in, it's too much.
I will agree, sort of.
Yeah,
my favorite kill and everybody's favorite kill. There's CGI there.
I know,
and it worked.
I know,
but also the CGI blood. That's the biggest problem. Because it's the most unnecessary CGI. And when the girl who you mentioned earlier who caused everybody to die, her boyfriend, when he gets the machete run through him and the CGI blood sprays, unnecessary. Give real blood.
Yeah.
When David Cronenberg gets the spear through him, CGI blood all over the place. The spear going through him looks cool. The CGI blood, not so cool. And I think CGI blood is the biggest problem with CGI.
Yeah, it does too. There was some CGI in the film we were talked about the other day, and the biggest spot with that was the blood. Yeah, and I'm thinking about it, and it was a cool effect, but it might have been unnecessary there too.
Right.
So I get what you're saying.
But other than that, though, I mean, I didn't have a big problem with the CGI, and I usually hate CGI.
CGI blood lacks here's one of them $5 words for you, Rick. The viscosity, the viscousness.
Nice.
Yeah,
I like it.
And I know that because I paint masks and I do a lot of part 4s, and you got to get the viscosity right on that fake blood, or it just looks like paint on the mask.
And we don't want that. No, we don't want that. So with the effects, though, it was one of the worst ones, but it was definitely better than the ones that came after it.
Yeah.
It was better than 8.
What do you think about the kills overall? Let's not talk about specific ones yet, but just hi.
Well, I think there was 28 of them on screen.
There was a lot, and that's not including the almost 20,000 in one shot.
19,797.
Yeah.
Which I don't count for Jason's kill count, because one, Jason did not kill the space station.
No, that dumbass Kinsa killed him.
Right. She gets credited with those 19,797 bodies.
So does that mean Melody Johnson has killed the most people?
That's it. But
I need to get her autograph.
I like the kills. I like the kills a lot.
So did I.
I thought they were very creative. And from the documentary I was watching, I mean, Kane had a lot of influence on him, which, I mean, the guy is there.
Even the quote-unquote garden variety ones look good, and a lot of them had more meaning than they typically would because of the one-liners and shit. It's like, what happened to someone? He's screwed. That's fucking great. I love that shit.
Right on.
Or Janessa, getting this sucks on so many levels. It's fucking great.
And backtracking just a bit, the CGI in the holodeck scene, like the danger room thing, that didn't look great, but it looked like it was supposed to look. Yeah. Like that's how you'd imagine the game would look. So I didn't have a problem with that either, but that looked cool. Like when Jason's slicing dude in half, but he's still there.
Yeah, I don't take any points away for that because it's supposed to be goofy.
Couple severed heads in that.
Yeah.
Give me a good decapitation.
You need one for your collection.
I do, just one.
Better get a hold of Todd Farmer, see if he has one of them Dallas heads for you.
Yeah.
Then you can have not only the head of an actor from this, but also a writer.
That'd be cool. That'd definitely be cool.
He wrote his head to get chopped off. That's pretty smart.
Of course he did. Why wouldn't he?
That's pretty smart. Especially if he kept the prop, which knowing him, he probably did.
He did because in his interview, he had a mask from the film and his head in his background.
Smart guy. Good on you, Todd Farmer.
And that head looked like it was done with silicone, which would last a lot longer than the other heads.
Right. Yeah, it won't deteriorate as quickly.
It'd probably outlive him.
So yeah, we talked about acting, the kills, anything else. I don't know. I'm ready to jump into the 5s.
Yeah, let's do that.
We're getting there. So my bottom 5 least favorite things about Jason X. Number 5 is too much CGI. It's understandable in some cases, though, as I said. But overall, I think they used a little bit too much. That's just because in this series, this franchise, they just didn't, and they just went kind of all in with it. I felt like, and we always prefer practical effects on this show, especially with kills.
Yes.
So yeah, and then one kill we are going to talk about pretty soon. Sure, it looked great, but it still could have been done practically. Could have been. Doesn't take away from it, but I'm just saying it could have been. Number 4 least favorite thing is the original script being butchered to death. Now, I still like
a lot about this.
I still like the movie. I do. But man, that original script was down a different road, a bit darker, a bit heavy. and I thought it would have been a better movie
Okay.
if they wouldn't have changed up so much. But that was a studio thing and a production thing. So it is what it is. We got what we got. My number 3 least favorite thing is the character of Azrael in general.
Azrael's just the kid with the long hair, yes?
The goofy, doofy kid. Yeah, he was just so dumb and so bumbling, but this is the future. Everybody's smart. This is a ship full of scientists and scholars and things like that.
Right, he didn't belong.
What's this dumb shit doing on there? Just
What if he's not a dumb shit though, and he's just like a stoner that's like mad into like video games and stuff like that, and it's still kind of smart?
Not buying it, man. Because
I get it.
Yeah,
Hold that thought for 2 seconds though.
Yeah.
I want to bring this up real quick. We got an Oscar Contreras shout out from Puerto Rico. Nice. Did the creators of Friday the 13th game consult the movie creators for Jason X for details or permission for game use? Now, I wanted to get to that because they did do that, and they mapped out the whole, what was
Grendel.
The Grendel. And Uber Jason was supposed to be in the game, this, that, and the other thing, but that's right when the rights thing went crazy, and they couldn't do anything anymore because the lawsuit was in full effect then. By the time it was all said and done, it was gone. But there are hacks that you can get with it in there because it was made. It just never got put out publicly. So you can access that. Ryan looks like he knows more about this.
Yes, you can, but only on PC.
Okay, there you go.
Not on console. You can go to YouTube right now and
see videos.
Jason X Friday 13th the game and see gameplay of the Grendel map.
Yeah, Ryan was a big Friday the 13th guy, many hours in that game. I played it. I just sucked at it, so I didn't play it nowhere near as much. But yeah.
But that is a good question, though. Yeah, they actually did develop it. It was done and ready to go. And, yeah, the lawsuit killed it and pulled the plug on it before they could release it. But it does exist, and it is out there. So
I wonder if Oscar, if my buddy Renee, who's in Puerto Rico as we speak, talked to this guy and got him to subscribe to our YouTube channel. And if that's true, that's awesome. Tell Renee.
Yeah, it would be. I actually, when we go off the air, stay on for just a minute.
Yeah.
Because I totally forgot to bring this up to you, but I heard the most amazing Renee story not too long ago.
Okay, we'll get to that. And I think I know it, but okay, we'll talk about that.
Yeah, you probably do.
Okay.
We'll talk about that later.
So what are we on, number 2?
Yeah, Azrael was my 3, just a stupid character, and just you can't say he's in there for comic relief because he didn't have any good one-liners or any of that. He was just a doofus.
I think they could have did more with that character and made him better. If they would have leaned more into he's a super geeky, nerdy stoner.
Like a savant kind of person, but he served like no purpose. They were even picking on him, you know?
Right.
It's like, why are you here? Like, whose kid brother are you or something, you know?
Right, you're right.
That could have been an angle, like, but whatever. My number 2 least favorite thing, and we touched on it briefly, is the acting, actually, because there are some characters and some actors in this that are so bad. And I'm not going to single any of them out, but
none of them are good.
Oh, there's a couple I think that are good, but there's a couple that are really bad, and that kid that plays Azrael is one of them. Because I brought him up already, but yeah, some of the other just
I think
overacting.
There might be 3 B actors, and everybody else is a C or a D.
Oh,
I don't think there's any Fs, though. I really don't.
I think there's a pretty good one in there, but that's going to make the other side.
There you go.
But yeah, 2 is the overall acting, not so good. But there are some that I liked. And my number 1 least favorite thing about this movie, and it didn't bother me when I first saw it, but in my most recent rewatches, probably the last 2 or 3, the whole awkward romance angle between the robot and the kid. It's fucking weird, and I don't like it, and it serves no purpose.
I think it would have been better if it was flipped a little more. Like if he was more into her than she was into him, because she's a robot.
Yeah.
And, like a creepy dude, like they can't get a girlfriend, it's going to make a robot to try to, you know what I mean? And it seemed like she was way more into him than she was.
Yeah.
But I didn't have a problem with it.
But I don't know. It's just off-putting to me.
Mm-hmm.
juxtaposed to everything else going on. It just makes no sense.
Right.
So, I mean, make it even more fucking weird and awkward. Have her fall in love with the doofy stoner kid. At least he'd have a reason to be there.
Yeah.
So,
I heard
yeah,
that part was originally written for a guy.
Oh, the robot was?
Yeah.
Oh, then we could have had an LGBT angle there, going back to last week.
Or it could have just been an android that didn't want to fuck somebody else that's on the plane or the ship.
That would have been better. Just, leave it to killing and whatever it's intended for. So, yeah, those are the bottom 5. Let's flip it around.
5.
My top 5 favorite things about Jason X. Number 5, and we touched on this, the look of Jason pre-Uber. I think Uber Jason's cool is what it is. It doesn't make either list. I think it's cool, but it's not top. I really like, because it goes to that backstory of him regenerating and everything that touches him, even the clothing and the mask is regenerating, and it would evolve into what it was. And I really dig the look. It's different. There's no other Jason look that looks like that, and I like it. I wish we would have saw a little bit more of it.
Well, as I was going to say, I thought they limited the Uber Jason to the last like 15, 20 minutes of the movie. So it wasn't like they beat him.
Well, there was that Frozen one though in the middle. I'm saying the Jason at the very beginning of the movie, we only really saw him for the one scene.
Yeah.
And then he was just a popsicle, and then the Uber. So he really had 3 looks.
Okay, so you're talking about the original kill the 7 guys in the beginning look.
The one that killed David Cronenberg. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, that one. My number 4 favorite thing and I already brought this up, but the one-liners and the dark humor. I love the one-liners and the dark humor in this, man. It's more fitting of like an action movie.
Right. Shannon says hi. So hi, Shannon.
Hello.
Yeah. Yeah. It did have some campiness, and I like that in a horror movie.
It did, but again, it wasn't pretending to be anything it wasn't.
That's fine.
We're here for a good time, not for a long time.
They didn't try to make this into some serious. And with most horror movies, you're not going to succeed in that. Make this an epic movie with great acting, and it's going to be Academy Award winning.
No.
That's just not what horror is. Once in a while, it can be done, and it has been done, like in The Thing, but it's just not something that's common, and it's not something that's easy, so don't try.
No.
And you're probably going to be better off for it.
Yeah, I like the one-liners, man. It almost felt like Die Hard-ish, like Bruce Willis, like smart-ass, like say something real clever and then punch somebody, or, shoot someone. It was pretty cool, like Brodsky, and we'll talk about him in a minute. Spoiler alert.
Okay.
Like it's going to take more than a poke in the ribs to take this old dog down, and then he stabs him again. Yep, that'll do it.
Exactly.
I love
that. That's a total Part 6 line.
Yeah,
that is a total Part 6 line.
So
you
cool.
Can totally see McLaughlin writing something like that.
For sure, it's like the only one that really it's self-aware, like 6, and has that dark, twisted humor that I love in horror movies. Number 3. No surprise, Harry's score. It was different than all the others. It's not my favorite of his scores, of course. It's not even in the top. It's probably one of the lower tier ones, but it enhances this thing, man, because we really missed his music for a couple of movies.
Right.
And that music in Jason Goes to Hell, just not for me.
No. And well, Jason Goes to Hell had some recycled Harry but not a lot, not enough. No. But what I did like about this one is that it was all Harry, and it was different.
It was.
You heard him score other movies, you get a lot of those same stings, and it sounds very Friday the 13th-esque. And this was totally different, which was cool.
And this was the last time.
It still captured the feeling.
Yeah. It was the first time in a while, and also the last time we had a Friday the 13th film with a full Harry score.
Yeah.
So it's bittersweet. Glad he did it though, because it just wouldn't be right without him. My number 2 favorite thing about Jason X is Peter Menashe as Sergeant Brodsky. I love that character. Everybody always goes on and all Creighton Duke, such a badass kid. No, Brodsky'd snap him in half in 4 seconds. Dude, Brodsky's a bad dude, man.
He killed Jason in this.
Yeah, he technically did.
The original kill. So,
And then again, towards the end as well with so.
Oh no, the original kill was KM. He's the one that killed him at the end. Yeah,
I know. No, I just liked the character. I thought his performance was very good, especially in a movie like this. I thought he was a cut above most of the other actors, and it shows. He has a lot of credits, so dude's experienced. He's seasoned. Yeah, dug him a lot, man. Wish he would do a con or something like that. I'd love to get his 8x10.
Right. He was the best. For me, he was the best actor out of the three. I said there's three that were at least B's. He was the best.
Professor.
The professor was the third, but his character was just so dislikable.
Yeah,
and it was more the writing than it was the actor.
Mm-hmm.
And then the second person was the final girl.
Oh, Alexa. Yeah, she's good.
Mm-hmm.
I got to mention though, with the good ones though, I liked all those too. Melissa Aid as Janessa, I really liked her.
Yeah, she was good.
She doesn't make my top or anything, but I just wanted to throw that out there since we're talking about performances that were good. I dug her a lot. So yeah, liked the character too, but I thought she pulled it off really well. And my number one favorite thing about this movie, it's no secret, it's the liquid nitrogen kill.
Absolutely,
it's fucking awesome.
Yes. She Stacey Lee represents her. Of course she does, right? Was it the 13th person? Yeah. But she had her at a con doing a photo op with the liquid nitrogen on her face in the costume, right?
When was this?
Recently. I don't remember which con, but recently.
Oh man!
So don't worry. I'm sure it's not going to be the only time she ever does it. So we're going to have to figure that out and get that to happen.
Heart be still. I got to get in on that.
Yeah, it was one of those New Jersey cons. I can't remember which one.
What's a cooler photo op? Real quick. Don't think about it too hard. That or with Judy Aronson in the raft?
No, it's that. It's that.
I go the other way, but it's close.
Yeah. No, they're both really cool. And she does that all the time too, yeah.
Yeah. So I just had to throw that out there. With the prop you're most known for, or the thing in the movie you're at. So, but yeah, that kill for me, and I mean, eventually we got to rank the kills.
Yeah, we'll do that.
That one is going to be way up there. So, don't know how far up there, but it's going to be looking down at a lot of things.
It's a really good one, man. I don't know if it's the best. I think it is my favorite. After I thought about it and started writing stuff down, it might be different, but it just
okay. Kills aside, since we're just talking about Jason X, is there anything you like in this movie more than that kill?
No, I don't believe so.
So we have the same. We have the same favorite thing then.
Speaking of that kill, the writer said that he got a phone call 3:30 in the morning from a drunk Noel Cunningham that said, "You got to put that bitch's face in liquid nitrogen and break it." So that was his idea.
Hey man, sometimes drunk dialing isn't such a bad thing.
So yeah,
not that I condone drinking. So, but yeah, that wraps it up for me, man. Is it my turn to grade first?
Sure, why not? I don't know.
I forget. Let
me see if I can find there's my list so I can keep track.
So I thought long and hard about this, and I had a grade in mind right off the bat, but
I already wrote mine down now that I'm pulling out my list.
Right. This one, it's going to get lumped in with a couple other ones, and there's two others that I graded the same thing. And this one is going to get the same C- grade as two other ones.
Oh, okay.
And that'll leave too a little bit mystery about my ranking.
All right. I did grade it higher. I got a C+.
Wow. All right.
See, and you said it was the same as one you graded two of the same, and I'm like, the only thing I'm seeing is 2 A's. I'm like, there's no way. There's no way you gave that an A.
There's a couple other C minuses in there
there's 3.
Yeah.
They're probably ranked the way that they will be on your ranking. I don't know.
Maybe not. See, and that's another thing too, though. Just because you graded higher than I do in general doesn't mean you'll have it ranked higher in your rankings.
Right. Well, the way mine shook out is from top to bottom. The way I have them ranked is the best grade to the worst grade. I think, yeah. Actually, there's one I like less that has a higher grade than one that I like more. Only.
Okay.
It's a B- and a B.
Well, sometimes it just shakes out that way.
Between the two of us, we got 6 A's. I got 4 of them. You got 2 of them.
Yeah, I know what my 2
we
are.
got 2 B pluses though, so
yeah,
they're almost A's.
Yeah, and one of those B pluses, I really wanted to make an A minus, so I just couldn't do it, and that was the one last week.
Mm-hmm.
The other one, which obviously you know what it is. Spoiler alert in my hand.
Yeah.
I can't go an A on that one, and I explained why.
That's it. That's going to be interesting to do a ranking episode with everybody.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. Glenn commented it. Oh, there it is. If you don't take it too seriously, it's entertaining as hell. Absolutely, and that's what Ryan was saying the whole time. Is it doesn't take itself serious. It doesn't try to make itself seem like it's more than it is. No. And there are no holes in it. There's no plot holes where this is stupid and why is this happening? The only one that Ryan could come up with was the stoner kid that really had no business on a rocket ship full of scientists.
Right.
And but I mean, very small thing. Yeah, it's a good movie. I don't care what nobody says. I can watch it anytime.
But you know, the whole backstory of why they're keeping him alive to test him with the regeneration, that gives it more plot than half these movies right off the bat.
Right. Yeah. I mean, it totally made sense. It was good stuff.
Yeah. So, you know, I could understand everybody has different tastes, man. But if you rank this one last, then big time Brian Emmenizer is going to hear an earful from me. Something's wrong with you.
Something's wrong with you. I think so too, man. I think so too.
So, I mean, if you think Jason on a cruise ship is better than this, or Jason, not Jason, passing a worm around to a bunch of uninteresting people, then yeah, something's wrong with you. So.
Well, right on. Did we need to talk about anything else, or?
Well, anything on tap for next week? Oh wait,
next week we're taking the week off. Sort of.
Yeah.
Not
so
officially.
We'll be this.
What we might do is I might get something recorded to have up, just because I don't think anybody's going to come on. I don't think anybody's going to come on, so I'm not going to do anything too heavy. But I might have a pre-recorded show, and if it is, and you guys do decide to come on and comment, my phone will be there, and I'll start chatting with you while it's on. Not 100% sure. You'll see a flyer or something go up if I decide to do that. I might. We went to a couple movies, me and Michaela. We might watch. I was thinking, you know what I was thinking about doing? That movie I watched, Alice, Sweet Alice.
Oh, yeah.
I think I might do a review of that with Michaela because there's some twists in that movie that I want to see if she catches right away before, she's really good at that. She's really good at knowing what the little twists in a movie before they actually happen. So I want to see if she gets that. And if she does, we'll talk about it maybe. So I might do that, but if I do, it'll be pre-recorded though. It won't be live.
Yeah, I get you.
Yeah, and then we'll take the week off and eat hot dogs and watch fireworks. What we won't do? We won't watch the greatest American athlete of all time defend his title.
That's right.
The most dominant athlete in history, 17-time champion, can't go for 18. It's horrible because he signed a sponsorship with a vegan hot dog deal.
Yeah, and you know what I'm going to do in his honor? I'm going to not eat a beef hot dog that day, and I'm going to get me a vegan one for him.
There you go.
That's what I'll do.
Show your support for Joey Chestnut, Jaws himself. Right. Oh, I live
save an animal. You can save an animal and support him in the same time. So
well, they got him against Kobayashi on Netflix, but it's not till September.
And we are animal lovers on this show.
We are animal lovers. We do love our animals. But yeah, I'm gonna still watch just because I just watch it. I like it, but it's not gonna be the same. Though the winner's gonna have like 40 dogs, dude. That ain't nothing.
No, he'd have 60.
Yeah, at least 60 is a bad day for him. He had 70 something last year.
Oh, was it?
Yeah, his record's in the 70s.
Fuck, man. He just smokes everyone so bad. It's like Barry Bonds, man, in his prime, walking 232 times in a season. You know,
still hitting 40 something bombs.
Yeah, when he only gets one pitch a week, that's hittable.
That was much more impressive than his 70 home run year.
It was
definitely. Oh God, yeah. He had his kid with a sign, "Please pitch to my dad." He'd see one pitch a week.
Yeah, it was 232 walks in 1 year.
How many at bats do you usually get in a year?
At bats or plate appearances?
Both.
At bats, like 600 and some ish. At plate appearances, like 700 if you play like every day.
So a third of the time he went to the plate, he got walked, most likely.
More.
It
was more because he took a rest day every like 10 games. Mm-hmm. I think he only played 145 games or so that year. That's crazy to think about. So.
Well, while we're sitting here rambling and we're talking a little bit about baseball, Willie Mays, his godfather passed last week. We didn't talk about that. Who do you think is? Do you think Willie Mays is a better ball player than Barry Bonds? No. Barry Bonds is the greatest baseball player to ever live. No.
Strictly offensively, yes. You know, Babe Ruth pitched too, so you know it's.
Oh, okay, yeah.
You know, and he wasn't Cy Young, but he was a good pitcher.
Well, he had over 100 wins.
Something like that, yeah.
Yeah, you know, and in a very brief career too. You know, because he never pitched with New York, right?
Mm-mm.
So he had 100 wins just with Boston.
He never started. I think he came in and like for fun, like towards the end of his career, threw an inning or two here or there for relief. Like when
Braves? With the Braves?
No, with the Yankees towards.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, or with and he played for the
Boston
was it the Braves at the end? Yeah,
Boston Braves, yeah.
Yeah, at the end. So, which whatever, but no, yeah, just strictly offensively speaking, you know, you say what you will about steroids or whatever. He's the greatest player anybody alive right now has ever seen play. So,
right. So
unless you're 100 years old and you saw, you know, Babe Ruth.
Right on. All right, so that just about does it. What else is going on? I don't know. Some other stuff I wanted to talk about. Oh, Ohio Terracon, August 16th and 17th or 17th and 18th. Not sure. Make sure to get your tickets for that. They got tattoo artists that are gonna be there doing tattoos. That's fun stuff. Thinking about getting the Friday the 13th, the Part 5 mask on this side of my head.
Ooh.
I was talking to the guy about it today. American traditional style. Should be pretty cool.
I've thought about getting Jason tattooed on me. I just can't decide which one. That's tough.
Well, I'm going to do the mask in about the same size as the CFH tattoo on the other side, and in a circle look, because you know, obviously it's circle form and the filigree. And
so you're proportionate then.
Yeah. So it could be cool. I've been talking to. I got some other guests that we're not going to announce coming up. Good stuff. We'll have the ranking episode soon. I don't know. I got nothing else, man. So everybody that did come, thanks for coming. If you didn't get a chance to see the Tuesday show, go check that out on YouTube. I seriously think that I watched it back. I listened to it again. I think we did a real good job with that interview. Very horrors myself. And I just think we're really well. And I want you guys to hear it. You got anything else?
No, I'm whipped from inventory and I'm hungry. So I'm going to track down some nourishment. And there goes the neighborhood.